go outside, you get some strong winds, you get the whiteout conditions, you have the snow coming down heavy, but the one thing you get when you have that is what? Drifts, right? So that's the rage in this next round of pictures is everyone wanted to send a drift picture. And I said, you know what? It's a great way to tell the story. So Cindy and Seacock sent this one, and you can see that you have this big pound. How about a big mound? That would be better. It probably weighs a little bit too, but not much. But nonetheless, a big mound of snow. And then you can still see a little asphalt. And we have that here. You know, you go, or say you're at your house. I mentioned this earlier. You go around the side of the house, you got this big, snow drift up to the first floor, and then you come around the other side, and your garage is like completely bare, and there's nothing there, right? It's a great picture from Cindy telling that story right there, and I appreciate it. John's watching. John is 9 inches in Tiverton, but he's got a 2 foot, or we'll call it 2 feet, 2 foot snow drift. Nonetheless, it's impressive. Tiverton, very nice picture. John, thank you for watching the cut-ins today. I really appreciate it. And if you have pictures, all you got to do is send them along abc6.com/weather or abc6.com. That's just submit your photo link. Or we have a post on the ABC6 Facebook page that says, put your photo here. And all you got to do is put it right there. And we check them out. We put them on air. I just put 2 on just now. I think it tells the story. Now that we know we have snow, and it's been heavy snow, I mean, how many times can I show you the radar? 600 times, right? So let's see what you have to bring to the table for us to see, because that's what I want to know. I want to know what's happening on the roads. I want to know what's happening in your backyard. This is Orm Street. This is 95. No cars because there's a travel ban, but do you want to be on that anyway? And that's not talking about the visibilities that are reduced too. And the snow totals are starting to really crank up too. Getting many reports now in southeastern Mass, like Attleboro's up to 1 foot of snow. Burrville, last I checked, was 1 foot of snow. Areas here in Providence were probably up to 1 foot of snow. So the blizzard warning remains in effect until midnight. And there's always that confusion about blizzard warnings. Everyone thinks that because you have 1 foot of snow, you've had a blizzard. But that's not the case. We used this graphic yesterday, and I think it really does a great job of explaining what a blizzard is, especially if I get out of the way so you can read it. So visibility less than 1/4 mile, but it has to happen for at least 3 hours, okay? And that's important because the sustained winds also, or frequent gusts, have to be above 35 miles an hour. If it falls below criteria, there's only a certain amount of time within that 3-hour span that it can do that. And then it's not allowed to be a blizzard anymore. So yeah, you can have like crazy winds and snow coming down. And if it happens for an hour, you know, it's like a blizzard, but it doesn't define as one. I mean, it's all kind of like, you know, smoke and mirrors. But nonetheless, to have an actual official blizzard, you just need these 2 criteria. And that is really hard to do until this storm. I mean, you're experiencing something that literally is going to go down where people will be talking about this for years to come in terms of how much snow falls and the wind gusts. And I mean, when you have wind gusts over 80 miles an hour, like we've had on the Cape so far today, Truro and Wellfleet, I mean, this is an impressive storm system. And a lot of you look at the radar, and I know a lot of you at home like to look at the radar, and you see this is just an unbelievable band of snow right here. But what's happening is see how it's all moving east to west, and then all of a sudden, in the last frame, it kind of stops, right? Because what's going to happen is this is going to eventually spin and flip. So like if you live in Cumberland or Woonsocket or right along the 95 corridor, all this is coming back your way, and then it's going to stop and then turn the other way and keep going. So what does it do? It kind of stays in one spot, almost like on a treadmill. And therefore, the same locations along 95 keep getting the heavy snow. So I just said Attleboro's up to 1 foot of snow. This band is going to essentially go here, and then right back around. You're going to continue to have 3-inch snow rates for a couple more hours. And that's why those totals will start to get gaudy by the afternoon. What I mean by gaudy, I mean like 1.5 to 2 feet of snow. We don't see that very often with one storm. In fact, if TF Green goes 18.4 for the day, it'll be the most snowfall for one day. Now, we had a little bit happen before midnight. That won't count. But nonetheless, though, if we can get that band to just kind of spin around 95 and start to keep bringing snow, of course, it would have to be at TF Green because that's where the official records are kept. But we could have the snowiest day ever in the history of TF Green. Think about that. That's pretty wild. We've had some monster blizzards before, but this could take the cake. So Newport, 0 visibility. Everybody else less than 1/4 mile. It's tough to see out there. Nobody on the road in Rhode Island. I've checked some of the highway cameras in southeastern Mass. Nobody's there. Everyone has heeded the warnings and stayed home, and that's a good thing. Now just sit back, eat some comfort food, have some time with the family, play some board games, but keep it here on ABC6 because we got cut-ins coming all afternoon. I'm not going anywhere. I can't drive out there anyway. The next time I'll be on is at 12:30 with more updates about the snow and the wind.